septic tanks overflowed into the wells.
It was
and stuff.
bad.
It's like,
I remember
oh,
that
yeah. Wow.
Typical.
Welcome back to Good Day Big Bear.
I'm
Morning,
Dan
Dan.
Bathurst. Good morning, John. This is John.
I'm John Wells.
Wells.
We'll get this down one of these days. We've only done a couple.
It's not. It's the least of my worries. How's that?
Well, it's Monday, August 5th. Is that right? I think so. Fourth, maybe? Is it the 4th? It's the first part of August there. And we just, I spent all weekend and updated the Find a Home in Big Bear website. So all of the year-to-date stats for sales and listings and everything is our first of the month update there.
Good job.
So feel free to go on there and take a look and see what's going on. Some interesting stuff, especially in the listings.
Listings are all over the board right now.
We're down again. We're not many. I think we're down 25 from last week. Our net listings overall on everything. We only have 897 listings, and that's everything. That's businesses, trailers, lots, the whole nine yards. We got 223 deals in pending. That's pretty.
A lot of pending.
From 3,000 to 5 million. And penny.
A moderate range.
Not many communities can offer that kind of a range to buyers out there. For all types of sales, we've had 814 transactions year to date, up from last year, 778. Last year we were at 672, so
Yeah.
we're up 200 and change in overall transactions for the year.
What is the July 29th? Is that just for the month?
That was the last time we did stats.
Okay.
So that's compared to last week. We were at 778, we're at 814, so that tells you we had 33 closings last week in overall transactions. So
Amazing.
that's not too bad. So go to findahomeandbigbear.com for all these stats and stuff, and you can also log on there and just download the stats we're looking at, because we can't get to everything.
No.
We don't have an hour.
We don't try.
We don't have an hour. There's just too much data available.
See what highlights we can work with, and
Yeah.
that's it. You know.
And looking at current listings, I guess if you're selling a house, the place to be with the least competition is Lake Williams.
Yeah.
There's one listing in Lake Williams for 145,
Yeah.
as compared to Bear City, 124 listings currently. Compared to, and they range from 75,000 to 899. So the listings again are all over the board. We're seeing a slight decrease in government leases, which is kind of interesting. For those of you that don't know what a government lease is, enlighten us.
Well, a government lease basically is it used to be a 99-year lease. Now it's a 20-year lease, renewable every 20 years.
From the government.
From the government.
On national forest
There's
land.
a lot of particulars with that. With a government lease, you got to follow our stringent criteria for.
In fact, you're working on a few of those
I'm
right
in the
now.
midst of getting extremely educated in what it takes to put a house back on the market and rebuild. There's a lot of hoops of fire. They won't let you cut into any of the properties around you. You can't add. The maximum size of a government lease is 1,400 square foot. But to try and add on to one that's 700 or 800 square feet it's an act of God. So anything that they approve now, finding this out. So if you're going to do an addition on a government lease, all your plans have to be in by August 31st. And then they approve them over the winter time, and then they'll let you build next year. So anything they do between now and the end of August is all the approvals that will not even be able to start until next spring.
So it's a time. So a typical government project.
Yes.
They have a congressional committee that comes.
Well, most of what they're saying now is they don't have the budget to
even look at
for somebody to evaluate if you qualify or not. The most important thing is on most of our government leases, those are all homes that were built and established in the 1920s. So anything
And they're essentially
do,
summer cabins.
Yes. They were designed as some, but there's a lot of them that are very old and falling apart. The footings are sitting on rocks.
But great views.
Great views. It's $1 million view for $200,000.
Well, government leases range from 105 to 499. So there's a pretty good range on listings right now. And not a lot of them out there, but some good range.
No, and they are a good deal. And so if you ever change your mind down the road and you want to get out, you just end your lease and put it up for sale.
But theoretically, well, technically, you can't live in.
No, the rule is that you have to go away for 2 weeks.
Oh, is that all it is?
As
Oh.
ridiculous as it may sound, you cannot be there full time.
Full
But
time.
as long as you leave for 2 weeks and come back, you're fine.
That's it.
The amazing
Oh, my.
thing is that wintertime was very difficult because you can't use snow chains.
Right.
You cannot plow.
Nope.
There's actually a gentleman up there over where I'm building right now that he takes an old bed spring and he ties it to the back of his Jeep and he rides it up and down the road a few times, and that clears the road well
I
enough
don't
for him
think
to go in
you're
and out.
supposed to do that either, are you?
Well, it's a bed spring, you know. It's
It's
he
not a
figures
plow.
this bed spring was designed in the 1920s, so I'm sticking
I was
with
just
the
moving in
program.
a new bed. I was just moving in, and that's all
Yeah,
it was.
I didn't have room in my Jeep,
Oh,
so I
my
drug
goodness.
it up.
My goodness.
So-
Quickie on short sales and foreclosures, still dropping. Still
It's
not
amazing.
many of them in the market.
Foreclosures, you got 11 current listed.
That's it.
Between 92 and 264,000. So that foreclosure market is really
Yeah.
small right now. But
Those
as we
high-end ones are
spoke
gone.
before, 46% of the people that refied 2 and 3 years ago are now back in foreclosure again. So that's this number will change eventually. If you're gonna get in this market, now's the time to get into the market because, as it's been all along, this thing is gonna change.
Yeah.
In another, I'd say by the end of summer. And
Because they're
going into
moving
the
along
winter,
a little quicker on the
a lot
foreclosures
quicker.
now. Yeah.
Because that shadow inventory that was out there is now on the market.
Right.
They're really following up. You've seen in the past where there were a lot of people that were foreclosed on, but there's no for sale sign. The action has not really been
Right.
gone through. The people are still living there, but now they're really
Starting to
buckling
pick up
down
on
and
those.
starting to get.
And that
into
46% of the folks that refied and back in foreclosure is not in Big Bear, that's nationwide.
No, that's a nationwide number, but again, that doesn't, if you figure most of the foreclosures were in California, that hit the original foreclosure list, and we're
Right.
talking between 275,000 to as a high line as 500,000 across the nation, and they figured somewhere around 25% of those were in California.
Wow.
So that was a big
So
push.
you're gonna see something there.
Foreclosures pending, we've only got 16, and that's between 79,000 and 329,000. Foreclosures sold for year to date is 86, 35 of those being cash, meaning 41% of the sales are cash buyers, and that's investors normally
Right.
just trying to come in there and get for
Sure.
the least. So as long
Grab
as
it
they
and
put
go.
up cash, the
And
cash speaks louder.
That's
than
about
anything.
half of the closings we had this time last year, isn't it?
Yeah, 140 is what we sold last year.
And we're at 86 this
106.
year?
Yeah, we're at
Yeah.
86 right now.
Yeah.
And there were, out of that, 140, 65 of those were cash. So you're still pushing that number. The
Right.
thing that seems to be a little different is that our average selling price for the foreclosures was 134, now it's 147. So that's about the only big change there. They're still getting 98% of their asking price on
Right.
the foreclosures. Short sales, little different.
Next to none of them left either, but
Yes.
there's some high-end stuff in there.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. You've got 8 current listed, 75, yes, 8, which is just amazing. And that range is the broadest range we've seen yet, between 75,000 and $1,300,000.
$1,300,000
So-
short sale.
Yeah, so I think that's a jumbo short sale.
That's a jumbo short sale. Pendings are almost double what the listings are
Yes,
in short sales.
yes. It's,
So,
the short sale market right now, is not as in demand simply because a lot of the people that would be doing a short sale versus a foreclosure, those people are now, because
getting
of the
help.
shortage of inventory, they're basically able to,
right.
because it's always the same old thing. If you got a low end of inventory, values go up, supply and demand. So now that the values are up, these people are basically qualified to get the HARP program, which people that are underwater, they can get refied to the government programs if it's Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac, and that's helping that a lot. So those people are now not on the market in that
Right.
short sale program.
And hopefully
they're
they
getting
won't be in
help.
a year or two
And we're
either.
hoping they won't. That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
Hopefully they
But
stay
we're
in
not
there.
seeing as many. And short sales don't hurt neighborhoods. They're a green sheet item that basically do not. If an appraiser comes and appraises your property and somebody short sold next door, that will not be subject to your appraisal. So. that helps a lot.
Very good. And on residential, we've got 467 currently listed, down from last week, almost 40 listings.
Isn't that crazy?
Almost 40 listings. From 65,000 to 3,990,000. Got 155 deals in pending, 53 closed for the year, as opposed to 347 closed
Crazy.
last year this same time. We're at 177 a foot in residential. Last year we were at 179, so that's pretty close in there. Our average list price 277,000, average sale 266 and change. Still at 96% of the asking price there.
And still around 3 months on the market.
100 and, was it like 100 days? 99 days? 99 days.
So-
For all of these stats, you can go again, find a home at bigbear.com and download the listings and join along with us. You
Absolutely.
can go along.
And if you'd like to talk to either one of us, you can contact us at 909-878-0522, or you can go on our website at exitrealtybigbear.com, or you can go to
Find a home at bigbear.com for the stats.
And you can reach John at
909-856-0862. And very shortly, are we ready to tell them they can stop by the office? The new office? We're not ready to
probably
say
within
that.
30 days.
So we're not ready to say that
We're
yet?
not ready to say that. Well, you can stop by it, and then you can also lend a hand in doing
a
a
trowel
drywall or
doing
whatever.
some drywall there. So, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week. Whatever you do, get in the market and get a professional to help you.
And now is the time.
Now's the time. We'll see you next week.